guys, it is the Turtle Girl. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today we are actually talking about lighting, and more specifically about timers. So this isn't going to be a very long video, but so many of you still have questions about lighting, and this is just something that will make your life so much easier if you own turtles or even reptiles in general. Basically any pet that requires some kind of overhead lighting that's turned on during the day and off at night. So that's where timers come in, and where they are super duper helpful, because you just set it once and you can forget about it. You just decide when you want the light to be on and when you want it to be off, and you plug this into your outlet, and then you plug your light or your power strip into this, and it's just already set for you. So if you don't have a timer, run out and get one. Where can you buy it? Literally pretty much any store you go to that's like a general store will carry timers. Walmart, Target, hardware stores, Amazon. You can buy a timer literally anywhere, and they're typically pretty inexpensive. I would say you can find them for anywhere from $8 to maybe $20, I would say is probably about reasonable for what you're paying for a timer. So there's a couple different styles of timers which I want to talk about today. The first one is these simple little analog timers. These are usually the cheaper ones, and as you can see on the front, it just says when the pins are down, the light is on, and when the pins are up, the light is off. And so what you do is you just pull out the pins when you want them off. Typically this would be at nighttime, and you could set it for that. And then in order to set the time, there's a little arrow here on the center, and then you just turn it. I don't know if you can see that. You'll just turn it according to what time it is, and then when you plug this into the outlet, this little part spins around, and when it reaches the time where you tell it to turn off, it'll turn off. So this is just a really easy way to keep your lighting consistent. And then also on the side, this is an option to make it manual, to turn the outlet on and then just on timer mode. So if you're like trying to check something in the tank at night and you want the light on but the timer has it off, you can just flip that and the light will turn on. And then this one you can see has actually two prong over here and two prong over here. So that's something really important to look out for timers. If you're just gonna plug one light in here or two lights in here, that's fine if it's only two prong. But if you want to be able to plug like a power strip that has all your lights attached, you typically need a three prong like the one on this. So I don't know if you can see, you've got 1, 2, 3 holes over here and only 2 holes over here. So if you're gonna try to plug a power strip into it, you want to make sure that the timer you buy has 1, 2, 3 holes for your outlet. With that being said, why would you use a power strip in the first place? Well, it just consolidates all of the plugs that your lights are going into. So say you have 2 basking lights, one for heat and one for UVB, and then also a tank light. If you plug all of those 3 lights into one power strip, for me, it's a lot easier for cord and outlet management rather than having 3 separate timers for each light, because that just doesn't make sense to me. Now before we move on to the digital style timer, I want to talk a bit about how long should you have the lights on, because people are always asking me, how long do I leave the lights on in my turtle tank? Is it 24/7? Is it just during the day? If you think about this practically, if the turtle was in the wild, it has the sun that comes up in the morning and the sun that sets at night, and at nighttime it's dark. So basically you just mimic that in your aquarium. During the daytime, you'll want to have your lights on. During the nighttime, you want to have your lights off. And that is for lights only. Your basking lights, which is typically your heat and UVB, and then also the aquarium light that illuminates the tank if you have that as well. Heaters, however, heaters in the aquarium that are heating up the water, those are plugged in 24/7 and typically regulate the water temperature through an internal thermostat. So heaters should just be plugged in all the time for consistency. But basking heat, the heat that's up in your basking area, should be turned off, particularly if it emits light, because again, it's mimicking the sun, and the sun is only there for the daytime, if that makes sense. You might say, okay, great, so I'm supposed to have my lights on during the day and off at night, but how many hours? Well, as you know, with the seasons, the length of the days changes. So personally for me, I kind of like to go with that. So in the winter, the photo period, which is the amount of time the light is on, is typically 8 to 10 hours. And then in the summer, I adjust it to be 12 to 14. Now, if you just want to set it for an average of 10 to 12 hours per day, that's totally fine, and then you don't even have to change it year round. I just prefer to change it to give my turtles some variation to the photo period, and also just go along with the length of the days and for how many hours the sun is outside. So that's what I do as far as how long to leave the lights on. Now to the digital style of timer. How you program it will depend on the type of timer that you get. For instance, this one, and it's not plugged in, so it's not gonna really work for me, but basically you have all of these little program buttons, and because it's digital, I'm able to actually program this for different days of the week. So say if I wanted it to turn on Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning and then turn off at 8 p.m. at night, I could set it for that. But if I wanted it to turn on later on Sunday, so say I wanted it to turn on at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday and then turn off at 9 p.m. on Sundays, I would be able to do that. And having a digital one just allows for more flexibility within the days, which I personally find isn't very necessary for turtles because you're trying to keep it consistent anyways. But I guess if the tank was in your room or something and the light turning on early in the morning, like at 7, would bother you, but it's just on the weekends that you don't want the light to turn on, then digital might be helpful. It kind of just depends on your preference. Typically these analog ones are cheaper and in my opinion just simpler to set up, but the digital ones are nice if you want a little bit more flexibility with your timer situation. Again, make sure if you're gonna plug a power strip into it, it has like a 3-prong or something like that. There are many, many different styles. As I said, you can buy them pretty much anywhere. I will link a couple that I found on Amazon if you'd like to check those out, both a digital one and an analog one. If you buy through those links, it does support the channel. I'm not sponsored by any of them or anything like that, but I do get a small commission from Amazon if you guys purchase through those links, so it's a great way to support the channel if you did enjoy this video and you thought it was helpful and you're thinking about getting a timer. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to drop a thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next Friday. Have a totally awesome day. Bye-bye!